Hi, I'm Phil Morrison from Driftworks and this is my buddy Jay, and we're back on the V10 restoration project today. So in the last couple of episodes you saw us torturing ourselves over the sump oil pan issues. We have a solution now, we believe, as long as the spring in the modified oil pump works out. I've got that spring on order, it's going to be a couple of weeks, but in the meantime we can crack on with finishing up the cross member, getting the steering rack mounted. I've had the stainless plate cut, so this is very crude.
It's stainless, is it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, so it's going to be a mission to cut it, is what we're saying.
Yeah, you're going to love it. And then obviously we've got to do some lightweight holes in it once we know where the rack is.
Yeah, can't wait for all that.
Yeah. So yeah, we just kind of, the template was rough. We're just going to basically fit that in there. We've got to make sure it's 100% level, and then basically we need to sit the rack on top of it, which is the other side. This rack here, and then we're going to work out position. We've got to be careful again with the oil pump position here with how we clamp the steering rack. But yeah, job one is to get that tacked onto that, but you've got to make a bit of clearance first.
No problem. Forgot to mention before I just started cutting, but the reason we've got these massive holes in this subframe is this is the original subframe that we used on the car. The reason we're going to try and use it again is the engine mounts are half done. This one will still work, and it's already had quite a lot of clearance in here for the rear of the sump. Just go and nip that corner off, off to the bandsaw. Treasure. Still got all my fingers, and yeah, nip those edges off. Let's go and see how this fits. Right, as I suspected, this stuff is an absolute mission to cut. Yeah, this side's sinking in. Just going to take a little bit more off here now to bury it. Oh, food! Right, before we go much further, we're going to tack this big plate onto the cross member and go and put it on the car and see what misery that causes us, I guess.
Yeah, basically got to make sure that the angle on the car is perfectly level and it's not pointing up or down, nosing up or down, and then also see whether it's got the correct clearance for the oil pump.
Let's pidge it on.
Pidge it.
Okay then.
Mighty tack.
It is attached.
Yeah.
So
let's go and drop it on our heads.
Carry all this over there. Now this is really heavy.
Yeah.
And yeah, pray for clearance, I guess.
Okay, so that's it in place. Looking pretty sweet. We've got to do a lot of clearancing here for the oil pump. We made this very oversized so that basically we'd have as much chance as possible of creating decent rack mounts, because they're going to have to be quite offset, because we just do not have space here for a rack mount. But yeah, it's all been leveled up.
Half got the engine mounted.
Yeah.
You know, halfway there.
Yeah, a lot of people keep saying, they keep asking the question, why don't you just create a tubular cross member? And I think a lot of the people that are saying that don't understand the problem in the first place, and that's not the cross member, it's the steering rack position. So
yeah, we can make whatever we want.
Yeah.
The steering rack has to still be where the steering rack is.
Yeah, exactly. So this is, we're currently working with a kind of hacked about cross member. We're having to make some modifications to it, get a rack mount on it. Down the line we may remake it in a tubular.
To have that made.
Yeah. But for now, we're looking to get the engine in place as quickly as possible, understand exactly what we've got to do with modifying the actual original oil pan as well. So we've got to get the fine clearances behind the oil pump and everything, get the steering rack mounted, and then, you know, like I say, down the line we might consider putting this cross member on a jig and just creating a tubular version. We might not, because it might be absolutely fine. Another part of the reason why we're using this cross member is because it's the one that was originally in the car. So we've left an engine mount on one side, which allows us to put the engine position exactly where it was before. So basically we're using one side engine mount, and then we've leveled the ramp again completely. We've leveled the engine, so everything's leveled up perfectly, and we know the engine height's perfect. We know that the distance from crank to chassis rails on either side is perfect as well. So yeah, we can just go ahead and know that this is going to be in exactly the position that it was before. So some very crude lines, and that's basically an idea of what we need to cut out for the clearance to get the rack in the position that it needs to be. We've been using the standard Sump, which is unmodified at the moment, standard oil pan, and basically just trying to work out how this all relates. Obviously this all needs to stay. So yeah, I think we're going to wiggle the welds off the plate, off the cross member, and go to the bandsaw rather than trying to attack this with an angle grinder here.
Yeah, because you chose stainless.
Yeah. Chose misery basically.
Yeah, I mean you could have chose titanium, like that skid plate that we made. That was the worst.
Oh, for the
thing
E30, that was really bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll just get 5mm thick titanium, that'll be easy to work with. It was not easy.
So while Jay's cutting that, I'm going to just confirm the offset on these AC schnitzers. First of all, it quite clearly says it there, 8.5 18 ET13. So I just want to double check that the barrels or lips haven't been changed, so I'm going to check the offset myself. Did a whole video a few years ago on the Lambo explaining how to crudely measure wheel offset, so use the same idea. So that's a solid straight edge on top of the wheel. Well, this is the back face of the wheel. This is all presuming that your barrel's not bent or anything like that, and your floor's kind of flat enough. So let's see. From the back face here, you're measuring to the floor, which is 242 millimeters. So to find the center line of that, you divide 242 in half, so you got 121, and then measure to the face of the wheel, the mounting face of the wheel, in the same way. Make sure it's completely flat, obviously, and that is 134. So you got 121 is half the width of the wheel, and 134 mil is to the face of the wheel. So that gives you, so 134 minus 121, quick maths, is 13. So that gives you a positive 13 ET13 wheel. So that confirms what it's stamped with, which is nice. So just made sure they're all stamped the same. I know they're the same width visually, and the faces are all the same. So yeah, they're all ET13 8.5 by 18. So now I just need to do my calculations I found the old wheel offsets, or at least what I'd listed the offsets as when I put the old set of wheels up for sale. So now I've got to basically work out from those old offsets what difference I had in rear barrel and lips, and basically get them ordered.
While Phil's trying to figure out offsets on his new wheels, I am about to recenter the rack on our new plate. I know it's got to be 75mm from the face to the centre of the rack.
75mm to the centre line of the rack.
Yeah, 75mm in that measurement, and then I'll have a look over here and see what I've got to cut out to get it rotated to the angle that we need to.
Yeah, so that's about your position there. It needs to come up ever so slightly, but only a little bit.
Right.
Like,
well, that'll help for clearance, won't it?
yeah, like a couple of mil.
So should we go and attach this back to the car then? And
I don't know whether we need to. I think we can start creating the mounts, can't we?
I suppose we can.
Because basically, the mounts, until we've finalised position, we're going to be able to rotate the rack. So we're going to be able to lean the pinion to wherever we want it. And once we've got the pinion angle perfect, we obviously need to make sure that the mounts that we're making don't stop the rack from travelling left and right properly. But I think we can just make the mounts on the bench here.
Right, let's do it then.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. How we're going to make them, I don't know.
My days. My advice to anybody thinking about putting this engine in this car is do yourself a favour and just don't bother.
Well, do yourself a favour and get a V8, isn't that your motto now?
Well, yeah, but
because a V8 would just pretty much fly in, but you know.
That LS would have been in weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. Yeah, so yeah, we'll just make sure that this is, do loads of measurements, but basically we need to create a clamp for the big section here, and then we need to create a clamp for the small section here, but it needs to spread across here to stop the rack moving left and right.
So we can't just use an exhaust clamp?
No, you can't. I'd like it to be quite nice as well, like if we get like a block of aluminium or something, and drill the exact size hole for it and cut it in half, and then we can clamp it together.
Yeah, we'll figure that then.
We'll invent something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi Jay.
Hi, can you just mount this please?
Can you just?
So it's 5:30. Can we just?
Can you just?
Is it really 5:30?
Yeah.
I'm still here.
And you know
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fortnight as well,
Oh,
don't
yeah,
you?
Jesus.
I've got an engine to fix.
We found some bits of metal.
Yeah.
We're creating a plan.
So basically, we're going to make 2 clamps that bolt to this bottom face here and clamp into it like a U-pinch bolt type set of thing. So as long as I can hold this in the chuck and bore it, because obviously we want to put the tape on here for the location. Because I have got boring bars for the miller, but they're not really that, well, they won't go down that small. So as long as I can hold that in the lathe and bore the hole through, then we can do it.
Yeah, it's a big old lump of metal to fly out and hit you in the face.
Yeah, I understand that.
I'll come round and film.
Yeah, get the camera on.
Get the GoPro on.
Oh, when it'll be on YouTube, like all his favourite videos of people's arms and legs falling off.
It's your favourite. You're so mean.
It's not my favourite. It's just, you know.
Just
Look at this, and I'm just like,
yeah. If Craig ever points his phone at you with a look at this,
Don't
just
watch.
run away because someone's arms are coming off.
definitely.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Happy morning's work tomorrow.
We'll have a look at that and yeah.
Thank you, sir. Is it your pub time now?
It is, yeah.
Okay, we'll leave you alone.
I do have a 4-jaw chuck, but it's a right pain to swap over and everything's set up. So, and because we've got to offset bore this, we can put it in and bore it off centre. Not the
Let's hope it doesn't shoot out and hit us in the
we will
face.
stand a little bit further to one side when we do.
Yeah, we'll put the GoPro in.
Yeah, and stand back.
Yeah. All right. Let's do
What we
it.
need to do is work out where we're going to put it.
Let's do that then, and we'll take up a bit later on.
Okay.
So Mr. Taylor has made a very sketchy, perfect.
A sketchy perfect.
A sketchy, perfect offset thing for the chucks here. And basically, all he's done, I'll show you because he's just having a look at another car. All he's done, he's span it up, held the marker against the tip here, and as you can, I won't touch it again, but you can see there, he's basically created a line, and that's exactly what we need there. It's roughly 5mm. This is roughly 43.5mm, which is what we need. Might work. It might not
hit him in the gut.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
it might not fly out and hit me in the face, but you know, we've got the camera rolling. So.
Yeah. Well, I better get proper HD footage in case it shoots you in the face.
Well, it's definitely going to shoot me in the face, but you know. It's going to be Craig's fault though because he clamped it.
Yeah, he touched it last.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thanks. I think it's going to be quite a slow process, by the way.
Yeah, I won't stand here with this.
I think we're not running this at high speed, so this might be an hour or two.
Let's have a little close up of the little piggy tails coming out.
Oh yeah.
Piggy tails.
They look like pig's tails, don't they?
The piggly wigs.
Piggly wigs, wiggly pigglies.
He's getting kid chat ready, isn't he?
Yeah. Look what Phil made me. Hey, maybe that'll do for the oil pump spring.
Yeah. Have you got that dirty already?
I don't know, I haven't even done anything. I've still got cleanish hands.
It's a skill, isn't it?
It is, like, my head attracts dirt.
Maybe if you wash your overalls once in a blue
I
moon.
wash them every week.
It just rolls around a lot, that's all, isn't it?
Just comes in and rolls around the floor.
Yeah.
So this is the boring bit. Ha! Ha! Ha!
So,
Well.
this is...
No, you're doing that.
Yeah, this is the small bar, so we're going to go... Can we get through with that? Just. So start off with this smallish one. A little bit quicker than that. Ooh, there we go.
That looks a little bit more dangerous, that's what we like.
That's alright.
Where you put one of those things that says 5 hours later.
Yeah. I mean, it probably could run it quite a bit faster, but, you know.
Danger levels are high, aren't they? Yeah. And also, we don't have another block of aluminium.
No.
So Craig's made sure that that isn't going to fly out. Well, not just yet. So I'm going to send Jay off to start cutting up the oil pan. The
It'd be
aluminium.
nice to have all that mounted tonight, wouldn't it?
Yep, and I'm going to just basically carry on with this laborious task.
Right, and got that standard sump mounted back on the car. I know this is the area where we need to keep as much space as we can, so I can see where the oil pump fits into this section. I'm just going to take it down again and measure back from this face of the oil pump back and just see how much we can get away with losing there. So yeah, let's take it off again and get the pen out. Right, now you can see what I was talking about a bit better. This is that section in the sump that I was talking about that comes down. So yeah, I'm just going to measure that distance there, and yeah, we still need room for that, so I'll measure that, mark it on the sump, and start chopping, I guess. I've taken my measurement on the oil pump, and imagine that BMW actually thought about this when they made the sump. So yeah, we can't actually lose as much as I'd hoped. It's made to fit the pump pretty much perfectly. We can still lose this section, and we can come straight across there, and you know, at this point any millimetre that we can save is worth it. I think this is going to be a pretty safe place to start. I'd rather take too little off at this point and have the option of you know, just tweaking it out a little bit more later. So I'll just go and get this checked off by the boss man and start cutting. Right, I'm suitably covered in death dust now, but hopefully I've left it at the magical moment where it just pings off. Oh no, I haven't. A little bit more cutting. Now, get in the bin. Right, I've got the new convertible sump offered up. Turns out, I think we can probably save another, I don't know, what's that, 5 mil there, which is definitely going to be worth doing at this point. Back up with a little bit more clearance up here. I really do get the feeling that we're going to have to take this whole section off. Third time's a charm. That is the absolute most we can take off at the moment without chopping more off the pump. So until we've got the rack mounted, I'm going to leave it there. But nip back next door and see how those two are getting on with that section. All this talk of boring next door, and how's that going, Nick?
I don't like it.
Nobody does.
Oh my god, I don't know where I'm going.
I do.
Hello Jay.
How are we looking on this end?
Awesome.
Oh, look at this. I'm quite happy with that.
That's a nice hole.
Yeah, it was a bit of a battle. It was because we were cutting at low speed with the thin one. It was just chewing it up. So got a bit braver, up the speed, put the bigger bit in it, and it's exactly 43.5, which is what we wanted.
Nobody took a billet to the mouth?
Yeah, not yet. There's one piece left to do.
Okay, perfect. Midway through round 2.
Nearly there. We're just 0.3 of a mil off.
Okay,
So, yeah,
of course,
I'm
because the
literally
rack's
nearly
smaller on this side, isn't it?
The issue is with this one is that because the hole's smaller, I can't use the big bit, so this is just vibrating, hence the ear defenders, and it's not making a particularly nice cut. But
It's a squealy pig.
it'll get it done.
Yeah, sweet.
More GT85, that's the answer, I think.
Make it smell like a bike shop.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. This one we need to put a taper in, didn't we?
There is a taper on that rack you wanted to use it to locate, so let's go and measure that then.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know.
Oh yeah,
That's quite
actually,
steep.
no, it is, you know. It's just got the radius on it, hasn't it?
Yeah. So if we go 45.
So basically just setting the angle of this now.
Craig's used his laser eye to measure the
laser
angle.
eye, and then basically you do it with that bit instead. Okay, cool.
It's in the hands, Jay. You got a picture of this?
Like I never got dirty hands before in my life.
Ah, Hollywood's dirty. It's not all for show anymore this
Just
week, is
because
it?
I became a businessman doesn't mean I never used to. I used to work in a bike shop. 11 years in a bike shop. Do you think
I
I've
didn't
never
know
got
him
dirty
then.
hands?
No, I didn't either.
We only hear rumours of that.
Yeah.
the first bit of machining done.
No pressure, no, you've spent all that time.
Yeah, well, there's less that could go wrong on a miller. Is that famous last words?
Last words is just shoot. Well, it's more getting the 4 holes in the perfect place.
Yeah, it's turned out pretty nicely. Got the little taper, so that should.
We should probably try it into the rack before.
Well, we've got
we can't, can we?
That, so yeah, we can't. So that should basically fit up against that quite nicely, and then we're going to obviously take a lot of height off this. It's not going to be too far off where it needs to be, but that is not a flat edge currently. So yeah, get it bolted up on the miller and start hacking it again, I guess. Yeah, so set up in the mill, and I've done a quick level because it's not flat on the bottom or the top, so I've just used one of those to just basically make sure that that's perfect right angle.
A little bit of
and then and see whether I remember how to do this without fucking everything up.
I'm sort of trapped if something comes out.
Yeah, it's going to come flying for you, yeah?
Yeah.
my new posh cutter.
Yeah.
So now we've got one square edge.
Yeah.
Time to flip him over and start on the other side.
Yeah, I mean that's the bottom there, so we don't really need too much height there at all. So there's actually like a lot to take off. What have you got left to do then on the sump? So just need to measure it basically.
Well, we just need the rack in place now before we can do a fat lot else.
So yeah, I guess if I can do this, then
at least we can.
Craig can mill the holes.
Yeah, and we can start mounting it on that.
Yeah.
Well, we've turned that massive lump of metal into bits.
Some itchiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon it probably needs. It could probably go fully square, couldn't it? Really, but I'd rather make the measurements first for the holes and work out where we're at. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's looking pretty promising so far. Right, I'm going to leave Craig to the precision bit. I'm going to drill basically some exact. Are we going to use 6mm bolts? 8mm. There's like not a lot of things there, but there's enough for an 8mm, isn't
yeah,
there?
there's plenty.
So yeah, I guess if we do, yeah, we're basically going to do 4 8mm bolts, but it needs to be plotted quite nicely on this, so that we can then replicate it into the plate.
We just need, if we measure it that way, we know we're not going to break through into this or anything like that. So,
yeah. And same goes for this one, but this one's going to be wider.
There's a fair bit more meat on that.
Yeah, I still need to clean up the sides of this as well. So do you want me to tidy this up first?
It's up to you. If you want to do that,
we might as well drill them all.
Well, if I quickly tidy this
you
up,
do that, then we can set up for drilling.
You have your cheese and ham toast.
Yeah, I'll go for lunch.
Nobody needs a grumpier Craig. Let's get rid of the burr.
A grumpier Craig with a sore finger.
Well, it's usually him that hurts himself pretty badly, so you know.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be me for a change.
So,
Sick.
There we go.
So 4 holes, and 4 holes,
Yeah. You can go.
See you in a bit.
Can I make the noise again?
Yeah, you make the noise.
You go and turn the CGI filter off on your hands, and we'll get on with that. Yeah.
So not only do you buy them a lathe, the welders and millers,
No, we used the best tool.
even a sandwich maker.
Look at that beautiful thing. Come on, you beauty. While we're waiting for that, we can admire Uncle Craig's calendar collection, which I think I've been coming here for about 10 years and it's never changed. He must have a thing for whatever she's called. Perfect. Craig has found the centre point of our block.
What we'll do now, fan centre points, we're going to go, they're 20mm apart, 46mm apart, and that should give us enough clearance to get the bolts and everything in.
Let's commit then.
Let's drill.
Next bit.
What we'll do, we'll actually tap it in here as well, so we'll put the tap in and use like a centre on the top so we can tap it so we can get them nice and accurate. Good old fashioned tap holder my father-in-law made 40 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah, do. I mean, how old's this machine? It looks quite vintage.
Yeah.
What is it, 1930s?
I don't know, possibly. The little chest of engineering stuff from back in the day. all handmade. Not by me.
What do they call that now? Vintage.
Vintage, yeah.
Go to one of those posh scrap shops and pay a fortune for that. Put it in your living room.
But there's quite a few handy little tools that have been made over the years that, you know, are good.
Phil's come back and stepped up to the plate. He's
Yeah, I was going to say for the glory, but this is absolutely not the glory.
No, we've just spent what time is it now? Who knows? Like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
So it is now almost exactly 3 o'clock. We have spent
Like 6 hours
all
on that.
day
Yeah, or
making
5 hours at this point, getting these to this point. So no
and
pressure.
we've done everything, you know. We've done everything properly on a lathe,
now-
on a miller, but the final part of it is cutting this in half, and the only thing we've got to use is a fucking wobbly bandsaw. So it doesn't really matter because they don't need to be like perfectly like machine tolerance faces or anything like that. But still,
I'll face them off afterwards once it's cut.
you reckon it's worth it?
Well, just so it looks right.
What are you saying about my cut? It's going to be that bad?
I should just put on the battle sander.
Yeah, I've seen how wonky you can get this on this, so I'm gonna take it quite slow. I'll mark it, and I've got to. If I do it that way up as well,
Yeah.
it'll be all right.
Sorted. Chop it. Whee! Still got all your fingers.
Yeah. It's like a machine surface already. You don't need to put it on the mill.
It's got a PNC finish, hasn't it?
Shall we see whether it actually clamps around?
Oh yeah, we should probably check this. It actually fits.
Yeah, that's correct. So that's from the top. That goes there. That butts up against there. That looks pretty damn spot on to me.
Well, that's going to hold it, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no question.
And
that's
there's still
gonna
the thing that we talked about. We still need to brace this way, don't we? At some point, but yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay, happy with that one.
Let's just do that again. So yeah, we'll swap small one to Craig, big one to Phil.
That's going to be fun to cut through. Isn't
Same again. Chop it straight through.
it? Yeah.
You drill it straight through. We're gonna have this in. We're gonna have this in tonight.
Feel it? Yeah. No, we're gonna find the next problem. What we're gonna do is do all of this work and something, you know, the 6 hours of work, something's not gonna work. Not that I'm pessimistic, but you know, it has kicked.
This car loves kicking you in the nuts, doesn't it? It's
It has kicked my balls a fair bit.
Right then, here we are. We've finished machining, haven't we? All holes are drilled.
I hope so. Well, the only thing is if this ends up in a position where it's interfering with the oil pump or whatever, so we might have to cut that one down a bit.
No.
Fingers crossed. That's that. And basically, that taper butts up against there is the idea. It's kind of in the middle.
It's measured.
It's measured. Not sure how much of a dent this is going to make in stainless, but
I'll put a scratch on it. Or lime.
yeah, looks good.
Oh, sweet. Right, while you do that, we are about to turn off.
Okay.
So, you get the idea, people. We're centre punching. See you at the drill.
Loads more boring stuff for the video.
Yeah, but it's going to finish in
fix it.
triumph, isn't it, in a minute?
Yeah. You're cursing us so badly, mate. You know that. You're cursing us so badly. So hopefully my drilling is good enough and these are in the right place because there's not a lot of tolerance here. Right, we're off. Nice day at Dine and Talk. Let's hope it works.
Yeah, then it will be a nice day.
Isn't it summer yet? It's bloody miserable.
Right, we made it back to our very own workshop. Why is it colder in here?
No, there's no machines running.
I guess, yeah.
I think that might be a big part of it.
Craig gassing.
Yeah, that's it. Right, so hopefully that's now just going to sit in its home.
Plop in there.
Yeah, we're using temporary hardware at the moment, just some random M8 bolts that I've got. That needs to go all the way over there. I guess that'll probably, again, just push that
sure it's
back all the way
located.
that way.
Yep.
So we are going to have basically an extra piece that comes off this top cap here that butts up right to here, so it'll stop it moving left and right. These clamps will stop it moving, but it's just an extra bit just in case they were to ever come loose or anything. But for now, I'm not going to worry too much about pinion angle. I'm just going to do it.
Just rotate it as flat as you can.
Yeah. I think that's attached enough for now.
Oh, here we go then.
Yep.
Let's set this up, and before we even talk again, you'll be able to tell from the look of our faces on camera.
Well, I'll tell you what, here's the deal. This doesn't work, the video ends now. Yeah, hopefully this fucking works.
Well, I hope so.
Oh, getting heavy this. You got a side. This is where.
It is getting heavy. Well, for me. It feels like I'm touching something.
Yeah.
But still.
I think it's just that bit of aluminium needs the corner needs taken off.
Of this?
Yeah.
No need to end the video just yet.
It's looking promising.
There we go.
Moment of truth, 67.
Yeah, we're going to have a little dance.
Ah, yep. So if you get the engine out.
I mean, it leaves more out there. Let's
Bit sketch.
just put a hand on it, put this on my head. Alright, one more minute.
One more minute.
Let's take it out.
Yep.
It's so close.
It's so close. You know, that's hitting here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's more, some more Sump. Buzz.
Here we go again. Oh.
You know where it's hitting. Look at that.
Yeah. Well, for now,
Far off.
for now, let's just focus
It's only going to work.
yeah.
It is, it's going to work. Oh, f***ing brilliant.
Right.
Right, so we've still got contact, so this is not bolted up properly, but this is the original engine mount, so it's not bolted up by about 5mm. We have a contact issue on
Our new rack
Can you
mount.
see that? Let me see that. Yeah, new rack mount. So focus is just there. So it's contact in there. So we can take the edge off that top cap, which is that one, and probably some off the actual oil pan as
There's
well.
no reason not to go up to this height because
Yeah.
that's where those two oil pipes run.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's fine. We've had to do multiple sessions of clearance around here, and I mentioned before that bolt, this part of the cap that needs milling down nicely. You can see my marker pen line on it. That needs to go, and it needs a countersunk bolt in it. It works!
It does.
It's going to work. It's not 100% finished, but yeah, this is going to work. The plan, as long as the oil pump works after.
As long as it's still
the
got oil
spring.
pressure at the end of all
Yeah,
this.
yeah, absolutely. I've got custom spring being manufactured at the moment, and that should be with us in a couple of weeks. But yeah, oh god, what a relief. There's still loads to do. Don't get me wrong, I'm not getting too ahead of myself, but genuinely feel like we've broken the back of the major issue here with clearance, steering rack. Everything is perfect. Steering rack position is absolutely perfect. Same as a standard car, just using the RX-7 rack. We have a full sump, as you can see here. But yeah, I am happy.
I'm relieved.
Yeah, relieved as well. That's probably the best word to use.
Yeah,
relieved, because yeah, it's a lot of work if it didn't work out.
It's been a strong month of fighting this thing, hasn't
It has, yeah. Thank you very much for all of your suggestions and help everybody in comments. It's been, you know, it seems like people really like this build. So yeah, I very much appreciate it. And if you like the video, give us a like, make sure you're subscribed obviously. My personal Instagram is philmorrisondw. J is J Don't Got This. Driftworks is at Driftworks, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks very much.
Bye.
At Driftworks, we've helped over 50,000 happy customers since 2004. Our huge online parts store is simple to use, with superb shipping rates to anywhere in the world, and finance options available for UK customers. We live and breathe wheel fitment, so if you have any questions about your own car or any of our products before placing an order, please drop us an email at shop@driftworks.com or give us a call. Thanks for watching.